So Brandon versus Brandon just went down. Brandon Moreno versus Brandon Royval. You know, it was the main event of UFC Mexico. And, you know, the first round was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. There was not really much output from either man. But Brandon Moreno especially just looked really odd in this fight. You know, normally he's like, not balls to the wall, but, you know, he's normally got quite a high output. But in this fight, you know, his output was a lot lower. It didn't seem like the same Brandon Moreno. Now, maybe that has a lot to do with the altitude. You know, they were at very high altitude. They are in Mexico City, but, you know, he did win the first round, I think, but it was a very close round. Second round, I think he probably won that round. Just off the top of my head, I think he lost the third, though. I think it might have been Royval 3, 4, and 5. I know that Royval definitely won the last 2 rounds, which makes one of the scorecards being 49-46 Moreno outrageous. Like, that's generally a fucking horrible scorecard. Like, generally just an awful fucking scorecard, like, all around. Like, one of the worst scorecards. But Royval looked really good in this fight. He just won with output. He was throwing a lot more and landing a lot more. You know, a lot of them weren't all, like, you know, big punches. Like, Moreno was throwing big singular shots like he was a fucking KO artist, when Moreno hasn't really KO'd anybody out cold before. It was really weird to see him fight with that sort of game plan. Like, he was just throwing loopy overhand type shots, like a lot of loopy shots. You don't really see Moreno do that. Normally Moreno is like really slick with her combos, body kicks. You know, if he gets a finish, it's normally a sneaky body kick like he gets on Kai Kara France, or maybe he drops someone with a jab, but not like big swinging overhands. That's like something we don't really see Moreno do. So that was really odd to see. Like, that generally was really weird to see from Moreno. That's really out of character. I'm not quite sure what this was. Maybe he was just gassed from the high altitude. But Brandon Royval looked really good. Good output, good cardio. He was the much fresher man. You know, trains his jiu-jitsu like 8,000 feet of altitude or some shit, whatever the fuck it is. You know, he trains higher than Mexico City's altitude. So you would expect him to have good cardio. And Royval was very fresh in those last 2 rounds. And that's what won him the fight. Just output, output, output. I also want to speak about in the 5th round, Herb Dean. What the fuck was Herb Dean's problem? Herb Dean was fucking furious anytime Moreno clinched. Like, even, I hate seeing people clinch against the fence, but like, Moreno would clinch for like 4 seconds and Herb Dean's like, come on you guys, I'm going to break this up. You gotta do something, I'm gonna break it up. And then he'd just break it up like instantly. Like, I don't know. I think Herb Dean had some money on fucking Royval, or he just hates Brandon Moreno. I'm not quite sure what it is. But that was really weird to see. like that was generally really odd. Very unexpected. But, you know, Royval was already up before that. It's not like it affected the fight or anything, in my opinion. I think Royval was clearly ahead. Even when Brandon Moreno was just holding him, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't throwing strikes. He was just holding him. It doesn't win you fight, guys. The rule set is damage. It's not control. You don't want to fight for hugging someone. Like, it's not the ultimate hugging championship. And I know that sounds like a casual thing to say, but he was literally just clinching him. He wasn't going for takedowns, wasn't going for submissions. No punches at all, just clinching him against the fence, doing nothing. That doesn't win you fights. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. That really doesn't. In the rule set, damage, which is hurting your opponent, is the number 1 scoring criteria. So that was really weird from Brandon Moreno. I'm not quite sure. I've seen people saying maybe he's washed. I'm not sure. I think it might just be the altitude. I don't think because he's got pretty good cardio most of the time. But even then, he was still early. He was throwing like looping shots, like looping overhands, which was really weird to see from him. But yeah, you know, it was a good performance by Royval. I'm not taking anything away from him. He showed up, had good cardio, clearly won. I think that was a clear victory to Royval. 49-46 to Moreno was fucking stupid. But anyway, that's all I've got to say on this fight. And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video. Give me your thoughts on the UFC main event between Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.